Every team, every topic, everywhere. This is Believe.
If you didn't know before, now you know why they call this the SunBelt.
Very excited about the SunBelt.
You know, while other conferences have been breaking up, our conference has become stronger.
The state of SunBelt football is the strongest in our history.
I saw SunBelt Conference, and I'm like, I don't know what this is, but I got to join the show. It sounds a lot of fun.
Hi, SunBelt Podcast. I'm Jeremy Harper with Hal Razor. This is Dusty Thibodeaux from the Warhawk Report. It is day 2 of SunBelt Media Days, and the SunBelt Media Days on day 2 belongs to the East. And what we've got with us is Georgia State coach Shawn Elliott, coming off a interesting season last season. There was a lot of good stuff happen. Coach, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. Interesting. I haven't heard interesting. I've heard poor, disappointing,
I thought it was
tragic.
quite fascinating.
But yeah, it was definitely interesting.
So, Coach, you talk about that. What is it in Atlanta that this team is great, but can't show it until the second half of the season?
Well,
and I know that's easier to say because you'd be like, well, man, I'll just fix it with that.
Well, you know, in the last couple of years, we've had a tough non-conference slate. You know, we open up with South Carolina, you play North Carolina. I mean, that's, you know, I don't know many group of 5 teams doing that. And the year before, it was, who did we play? Auburn and North Carolina. So, you know, in our first 4 games, you know, you got to be really good to go play against those football teams. And then we just didn't start off so well. I mean, we played those teams were really tough. You throw Army in there. We had Army, and that's another damn, you know, just hell of a team you got to go play. So hopefully we can have a much better start to our season. Not that these teams that we're playing is going to be any less difficult, but they're certainly not going to be the Power 5 teams that we've seen in the past. So I'm hoping to get off to a good start, and that way when we get in the conference, maybe we'll be a little bit healthier than we were a year ago. I know our first conference game last year, I think we were down 9 starters, and I walked in and I said, you know, good luck. We're going to try to hang on until we get some guys back. It's going to be a tough road.
How easy is it, though, knowing, that you have a great signal caller, Darren Granger, coming back, and he's right there out of the gate, ready to go for you for game 1?
Well, everybody understands the quarterback is it makes everything go in football. So you better have a trigger man that you're confident with. He has got a great ability to lead. He's put on about 25 pounds this offseason. He is a changed man physically. It's unfortunate he couldn't make it down here because of a sickness. He just got a little.
Oh, we don't have Granger.
Yeah, he got a little ill right before getting on the plane the day before. So we decided not to bring him. But he is going to be phenomenal. I think. I mean, honestly, I think I'm his head football coach, but I think he can be one of the best quarterbacks in our league, and I truly mean that. His arm strength, his running ability. He's a dangerous guy. He's fun to coach. He's fun to be around, and he's going to be great to see play this senior year.
Well, I know that my word probably isn't as good as a lot of analysts in the Sun Belt, but I'll second that. I love Granger. I think that guy is the most dangerous guy on the field every time he's playing. But from what I understand, Georgia State has had to replace a lot of guys this season, a lot of good starters. Who should we look out this season in addition to Granger? Somebody who's really going to make a difference.
Oh, offensively, I think you look at our running back, Marcus Carroll. Without a doubt, he may be the best running back we've ever had at Georgia State, and he's incredible. I call him Mr. Muscle. He is strong. He is physical. He can run. Robert Lewis is a wide receiver that started out last year having a phenomenal year. We lost Thrash to the transfer portal to Louisville, but Robert Lewis started the season off. He was our guy, and he got hurt, and it just kind of changed. So those are some guys offensively. Cradle is another wide receiver, Ja'Kai's Cradle, that we'll lean on offensively. We got to replace some offensive line, but I think we have the guys up there to do it.
Looking around the SunBelt East, I think you were picked there towards the middle of the pack. What do you see happening this year? Because it seems like really the script has been flipped. Last year it was kind of woe is us on the West. The East is going to be the dominant force. This year it's kind of the dominant West, and the East is, woe is us. But how do you see that East shaking out?
Really, I don't ever pay a whole lot of attention to it. I don't think any coach or any analyst or media member has any idea about our roster and what we've replaced our guys with, or how our last 6 months have come to shape up to mold us into the team that we're going to be. So I don't pay a whole lot of attention. We had high expectations a year ago from a lot of preseason, and we ended up losing 5 games by about 17, 18 points, and it just didn't materialize. So to pay attention to our preseason ranking and to the East, I don't. I take them, quote unquote, one game at a time, and you never know what team you're going to face, because injuries can occur, and you could be facing a whole different team than what you thought you were.
So, Coach, you're a former offensive lineman. You know what it's like to be in the trenches.
I'm not a former offensive lineman. No, I'm not.
Well, why did I think
lineman.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
I was a defensive lineman.
But you coached offensive
Yes,
line.
I did.
Okay, all right. Oh my God, I got.
Do you honestly think I could play offensive line?
I don't
damn
know.
sure could try. I know that.
I played center in 6th grade, and I'm super small. But I will say this though, that you brought in an offensive line mentality to the team. It was like, you've got to get bigger in the trenches. You got to get bigger in the trenches, and that's really rubbed off on the SunBelt West. That was a huge theme. Coming into day one, everybody's talking about building up their offensive line, building up depth. How's Georgia State in that regard? Is the depth there? Is the size there? Are you guys still one of the premium offensive lines?
I think with the loss of some of our better players that were offensive linemen a year ago, guys that started for 4 years. Malik Sumter was an all-conference guy, started forever at center, and we've got some guys to replace them. They're not going to have the experience that those guys had, but I promise you, we've got the strength and we've got the mobility, and they've got the mindset, probably unlike what I've seen in our line. I mean, we got a couple transfers in that I am extremely impressed with, and they're big and they're strong.
Give us a couple names.
They're tanks.
Give us a couple names of them.
No, you'll figure them out.
All right, okay. We'll be looking. That's the guy he was talking about.
Coach, last question for you.
Yeah.
GSU, what's the S stand for?
State. What kind of question is that?
Thank you so much there, Coach. We appreciate it. Looking forward to seeing the Panthers this upcoming season.
Thank y'all.
Well, after talking to Shawn Elliott, we get our student-athlete preview for the Georgia State Panthers. Bryquice Brown and the person that is not Darren Granger, since Darren Granger decided to get sick and he didn't want to deal with you, Jeremy.
I don't blame him.
Bryquice, talk to us about this defensive side of the Georgia State Panthers as y'all get ready to really try to make up ground from last year's somewhat disappointing season, honestly.
Yeah, like you said, it was definitely disappointing for us. But this year we have a lot of new guys to fill in a lot of gaps within the defense. And, bringing in Coach Staggs for us was huge. Just having him be one of the top coordinators last year in college football, just having him there, just bringing the new swag within the defense and just the hunger and the aggressiveness for us to win games this year.
No Darren Granger, but we get one of his guys that is his bodyguard. I mean, if you look at the guy, he's like 7'7", easily 400 pounds. He was bench pressing Shawn Elliott beforehand. Introduce yourself and tell us about that offensive line of the Panthers.
Hey, my name is Travis Glover, like he said, offensive lineman at Georgia State. And I feel like this year with the Georgia State Panthers offensive line, it's going to be something different. It won't be the guys that we have seen in the past that have been very good players in this league. But I feel like we have young guys that are going to step in and have seen those guys work and will model their work after those guys, so we can come in and still be the offensive line that we have always been and just really keep working on that. And I feel like these young guys have almost like an advantage that they have seen those older guys work, even a guy like me, and they're just modeling after us and really working to almost surpass us in a way.
So we always like to see the ball vertically thrown, but Georgia State's really a running team. How great is it also knowing that you have that versatile quarterback in Granger, but also just a stacked backfield of running backs that really kind of make your job even a little bit easier, knowing that you just got to run, block it, and pancake the guy in front of you.
Yeah, you're right. It's a great feeling knowing that we have such a great quarterback and great running backs behind us, and it almost pushes us to go even harder just to see those guys run freely and do what they can, and so they can enjoy the game almost.
middle of the pack in the SunBelt East preseason poll. How do y'all see things kind of shaking out on y'all's end, or do y'all just kind of cliche it and one game at a time and see where the chips fall?
Yeah, like you said, we don't really worry about the preseason polls because, like you said, just a preseason poll. We're going to go out every week and focus on that opponent and take it game by game.
On the defensive side, the East has a lot of good offensive threats. What do you see out of that offensive threats that y'all have to face week in and week out?
We know for a fact it's going to be tough. We're not going to just sit back and just relax on anybody. We know we have to bring it every single week. So, just looking at guys like, Grayson coming out of Coastal, and, last year App had Chase Bryce, but App's always coming back with something pretty good. So, guys like that, we respect them, but we know we got to do in order to get the win.
I got the most essential question for both of you, and I need a truthful answer. Has Coach Shawn Elliott ever headbutted either one of you guys?
No, Coach Elliott has never headbutted me, but my welcome to college moment was definitely Tennessee in the locker room. I didn't really expect the juice that he had. He came around, he got in my locker, and he just like, "Are you ready?" Put his hands on my chest and just screamed in my face, "Let's go!" So that was kind of my welcome to college.
Yeah, like you said, I never been headbutted, but he caught me off guard a couple of moments with just the intensity that he brings.
So with that said, obviously celebrities here in New Orleans for SunBelt Media Days, but Bryquice, you had the All-Star Summit where you got to go to the NBA Finals, you got to hang out with the players, go to the locker room. I mean, hell, one of the players even followed you back to the hotel and you hung out with him there, right?
Most definitely, yeah. My brother, he won the championship this offseason, and it was just great. Just being around it, just having a witness atmosphere and just see what the guys did just to pull along for each other and just try to, the big end goal, winning the championship. Just being around that was just huge for my family and I, and I'm grateful and I'm forever blessed to witness that.
Different sport, but what is that discussion like with him as he tries to, motivate you and get you ready to possibly play at the next level?
For sure. Definitely having him in my life is huge. He's definitely a motivator and a role model for me just because I see the ups and downs, sometimes he might not have the best shooting night. He might not have the best offensive night, but like his defensive game and his energy and him being there for his team is always there. So just having him be a positive role model, showing me, but not by just off the court, just being on the court, just showing me when times get tough, just find a way and you're capable of doing whatever you want as long as you put your mind to it.
Did you get a little envious, though, that he has maybe a louder crowd, not necessarily a bigger crowd, a louder crowd cheering for him than what you would have?
No, not really, because I'm a part of that crowd, too. I'm cheering for him. So I kind of try to take it all in and just enjoy the process and everything that he goes through. Being there for draft night was just huge. Just being there for him throughout the whole process just showed me that everything that you want to do in life is just possible.
The damn train horn in pack. Love it or hate it?
Love it, love it, love it, love it.
You love it too, though, right, Thibs? You love it.
Gotta love the sound of the horn.
Like I almost can hear it now. Love it.
Yeah, because it's that loud. Guys, we thank y'all so much. Look forward to seeing what the Panthers can do this upcoming 2023 season.
Thank you. We appreciate you for having me.
Grayson McCall, 10-time SunBelt Player of the Year, and his as he self-proclaimed, JT Killen, his roadie, his bodyguard,
wingman,
stunt double, wingman.
Could be a stunt double, yeah.
Joins us on FunBelt Podcast. Grayson, first of all, we got to say, didn't think you were going to be sitting here with us this year. What brought you back to the SunBelt, to the Shawns?
Just to keep it, simple,
Keep it simple. I wasn't going to let him leave. I was going to beat his butt.
I never really wanted to leave, man. It was, during the transition, I had some opportunities to present themselves. Wanted to do it the right way. Coach Beck had just got on campus. I told him that I was going to enter the transfer portal and just kind of see my opportunities there, see what was going on. But, the guys in the locker room, man, I love those guys there. Coach Beck is a phenomenal guy, great head coach. Brought in a really good staff. Just when I got the chance to sit down and talk to Coach Beck about, just talk ball and, where he was, where he's been, type of players he's coached and sent to the next level, especially quarterbacks, was really important for me. And then it just comes down to staying at home, finishing what I started, graduating from Coastal Carolina, and confident in the decision I made. Glad I'm back and, happy to be at home.
Yeah, well, this is a question for both of you then. Jamie Chadwell, very popular guy, Coastal Carolina, bounces to Liberty. Get the new guy, Tim Beck. How are these two guys different?
Oh man, they're very different. Coach Chadwell, so country. James, he's so country. James, but he's a funny guy. But Coach Beck's funny. I mean, I guess they're both similar. They both got a good sense of humor. They're both really funny guys. I don't know. He'd probably be a little better. He spent a little more time with Coach Chadwell.
Obviously, Coach Beck's a first-year head coach, but two different coaching styles. And obviously completely different staffs. Obviously, Coach Chadwell has been around that same staff for a long time, a bunch of different places. But Coach Beck's, I don't want to downplay what Coach Chadwell did. Obviously, we had great success. He was a great head coach for us. But I feel like Coach Beck's more of a player's coach. Open door policy anytime. Go and talk to him. He's really involved with the defense. He's really involved with the special teams. Obviously, really involved with the quarterbacks because he knows a lot about quarterback. Coach Beck's seen it all. He's been in the big Power 5 programs, the Ohio State, Texas, Nebraska. He's seen it all, so he really gives us a good perspective of it all and knows how the show should be ran, and it's been really smooth so far.
So, JT, we know about QB1. We know about that Shawn's offense. The defense isn't too bad. Talk about that defense and kind of what we can expect this year out of that unit.
Yeah, so we had a great run defense last year, I would say, at times, and got to build off that. But in the back end, we got some guys in there now, got some guys in the room. There's a lot of competition in the back end and the D-line. We'll see. Those guys are compete. There's a lot of competition right now, and I think we'll have 11 really good players out there every snap, and I think we'll have a good year. We're excited. We got a new coordinator, but football's football. You're gonna run. Everyone runs the same stuff. Just different ways to run it. So it'll be a good year.
Blocking and tackling, baby.
Yep, blocking and tackling. It's the name of the game. Getting the guy on the ground.
I was like, okay, let's talk brass tacks a little bit. Last season was a good season for Coastal Carolina. We made a lot of hay during the first, 3 quarters of the season, talking about Coastal Carolina's the way they want, the way you guys want. It always seemed like by the hair of your chins, it was always a little bit of Coastal magic.
Yeah.
Kind of fell apart at the end of the year. I don't know if it was distraction of Jamie Chadwell getting all that buzz. He might be leaving. Maybe just ran out of gas. I believe you got hurt at the end a little bit. Tell us what happened at the end of the year and how you're going to solve that going into this season.
Yeah, I mean, you can blame it on the distractions and this and that if you want. The point is that we didn't finish strong. I don't know if it was a sense of complacency or obviously guys like myself weren't healthy. That's a personal issue that I fixed this offseason. But from day one, I mean, Coach Beck was obviously there for the Birmingham Bowl against CCU and was on the sideline, not coaching, but was able to watch us play and just kind of watch everybody get out there. And he's put a huge emphasis on finishing everything we do, whether it's in the weight room, if it's finishing a sprint 2 yards past the line, finishing a game, but more importantly, being healthy and finishing the back end of the season and, hopefully playing for a conference championship. So it's being available, being ready, and finishing. On top of that, it's in the weight room with our nutritionists and our strength and conditioning coaches, everybody putting on weight, being durable, and being available for the second half of the season. Sorry, JT, kind of stole your light there.
That was spot on. That was great.
We had the mustaches. We had the mullets. What's the 2023 Shawn's?
Oh, we can't tell you. It's big.
It's a secret.
It's going to be bigger and better than you've ever seen.
Are we going back to the 80s, like big hair or what?
Shoulder pads, definitely.
I'm not saying anything. It'll be good, though.
So, Grayson, you get a new offensive coordinator there with Trickett coming in. What's he really brought to the table, and what's the big differences that you see potential-wise out of this year's Shawn's offense?
Yeah. Great offensive-minded guy. Obviously, it's great having Coach Beck as my head coach because he's an offensive guy as well. but we have so much we can do. His plan is that we're going to do whatever we do best, and obviously a lot of offenses can say that, but we can do all kinds of stuff. We can pick up where we left off last year in triple option. We can get under center. We can throw it around. But it's football for me. It's taking care of the ball, not turning the ball over, getting the ball in my playmakers' hands, and just being smart, leading the guys. But Coach Trickett's been great. It's been cool to take new coaching, new verbiage. I've been so used to the old staff, and they did a phenomenal job, helped me grow so much in my game. But with Coach Trickett and Coach Beck, I think I can take it to the next level and prepare me for the next level. So it's been great. It's a lot of good stuff with Coach Trickett.
So last season was a unique situation. You bring in a new team, a couple new teams into the East, one of them being JMU. They have a claim to the title just as much as Coastal Carolina. Does that make you guys arch enemies this season?
I mean, we got our butts kicked, but it's good competition. It'd be exciting. Got them at the end of the year, so it'd be cool if it came down to that game for both of us, I'd say. Marshall's great too. Bringing them in, the competition's great. It's a good conference. I think the SunBelt's, we talked about it earlier, it's best G5 conference in the country.
Well, because Coastal's been so good the last few years, the target's on your backs. Everybody wants a piece of Coastal Carolina, right? Who's the chippiest team?
Oh, gosh.
I feel like we get everyone's best shot.
Everybody, you get the trash from everyone.
It's tough to say, man. I feel like you said, we got a big target on our back. Everybody likes to come at us, especially, as a quarterback. It seems like you get stepped on, spit on, kicked, and punched. And, it's good, though, man.
And that's just in practice.
Yeah. The east side of this conference is phenomenal. The conference in general is really good. So, gotta come ready to play every week because you can drop one whenever. So, gotta be ready. It doesn't matter who you're playing. You gotta get out there and play some good football.
Guys, we appreciate your time and look forward to seeing the Shawn's this upcoming season.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Thanks, man.
Coach Tim Beck, leader of the Shawn's, joins us. Coach, now that you've kind of gotten your feet wet, you've gone through spring practices, what have you seen out of your team as you get ready for your first season?
I tell you, one of the things that has caught my eye that's really awesome is how much our guys love playing football. These guys love playing football. Been a lot of programs, been coaching for a long time. You see kids players starting to play this game for the wrong reasons, worried about the wrong things, the NILs, the future, and going to the NFL, which is great. That's all part of life and all part of this game. But these guys, man, they just love playing football. They love each other, and they have fun doing it. And it's awesome to go to work every day.
It's also got to be an easy transition knowing that you have Grayson McCall returning for his senior season. What does he bring to the table as far as leadership as well as obviously what he can do on the field?
Yeah, people ask me all the time, like, does that help that you got Grayson back? I'm like, yeah, if you know anything about football, yeah. It helps. But, just a quality young man. You guys have met him and talked to him. You can see just ooze confidence and leadership. Our team rallies around him, right? And, I've been really blessed in my career to be able to be around some of those guys, right? At NC State, Evan Leary, at Texas with Sam Ehlinger, and Ohio State, J.T. Barrett, Joe Burrow. So I've been able to be around some of these guys that had that same kind of it factor, right? Not only great players, but competitors, leaders, just oozing confidence, finds a way to win, just winners. And so our team just rallies around that, and so it helps. He's our 11th coach, basically, is what it's like.
The Shawn's not picked as a favorite in the East, but even like the student athletes we're talking about, we really get everybody's best shot. Is that a sign that the program's kind of made it that even when you're not predicted to be the best, you're still thought of as the best?
Yeah, it's a tribute to these guys and what's been built. Right, the tradition. Won 31 games in the last 3 years. That's pretty impressive. That's hard to do. So because they've done that, we get everybody's best shot. We kind of have that mentality a little bit. It's us against the world, right? We're nobody. We're everybody's rival, right? So.
Well, I was going to ask you about that. Coming in as the new head coach, would it have been better to come in a little more under the radar, or you have to immediately come in and the spotlight's on you, and there's a lot of pressure to perform.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. Like, people talk about that, like the pressure and all that. You go to work, you're around these guys, you coach them up as hard as you can, you try to help them get better, you teach them some things, you show them different, right? Like, I had to do it. It was interesting. Most programs you go in, you got to build them up. What I had to do is continue to build the culture, right? So you still had to build. You still had to build things. New players, new coaches, new staffing, all of that. How do we build that, right? And so I rely on these guys a lot. There's a lot of veteran players, very experienced, right? What good is experience if you don't use it? So I use it. Hey, tell me about this. How do we do this? How do you guys want to do this? It's their program. They've built it, and so we want to maintain that part of it, right? We want to be physical. We want to play fast. We want to be tough. We want to have fun doing it.
Coastal Carolina, recently known for football, but traditionally known as a great baseball powerhouse. You have the legend there, Cliff Ellis in basketball. What's it take for Tim Beck to really join those ranks?
I don't know if I can. Those guys are icons, baby. They're icons. They're gonna have the trophies. I'll be taking still photo shots next to those. But to be honest, they're great people, by the way, and I'm very fortunate to be able to be around them. But I don't really compare myself to people. I don't worry about that. I worry about what we need to do, what I need to do. For the most part, I know this, and what I've learned about this conference, being at those other programs and having to play them from time to time, and certainly being here, it's a passionate fan base, really competitive programs, great coaches and great players, and it's an awesome brand of football, and people need to come out and watch it because it's exciting. And it's gonna come down to the wire. And so the big thing for us is make sure we're there at the wire to finish.
Coach, we thank you for your time and look forward to seeing the Shawn this upcoming season.
You got it, man.